All right, this is the deal. Just wanted to put a quick webinar together, guys. One of my goals this year for 2014 is to be ubiquitous, meaning be everywhere and everywhere at the same time. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to get around everybody because the travel schedule and everything. But I had some good stuff. I just left. Hold on, I'm seeing that some people still can't hear me. Yep. Click the phone icon and you'll be able to hear me. All right, cool, awesome. All right, so I just left Dallas, and the dope about when I just left Dallas is that I did a big Super Saturday down there for Scott Ross's team, and I sort of just went over the same training that I'm about to go on to right now, and I've gotten nothing but really positive reviews. People are having crazy growth, and Scott's thanking me because his team is growing tremendously fast. Johnny called me and told me some guys are going really quickly up there now. Same thing with Ed, and so on and so on and so on. And so I just kind of wanted to share with you guys what it looked like for me when I'm building this business, as far as maximizing time and just making the most out of the time that you spend in Worldventures. You see, I heard a guy. One of the guys in Def Nation, actually the marketing director guy, said something that I thought was really cool. He said that he went marketing director in 96 hours. You can tell that guy really pays attention to the way he spends his time, and it's about efficiency. So first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody for being on the call. Appreciate you guys being up. I know it's 12 midnight. This is Team No Sleep, so it shouldn't be a big deal, but I appreciate you guys being on here. I'm going to promise I'm going to do my best to give you guys everything that I can as far as scheduling and kind of just showing you guys what it looks like to play the numbers in this deal and, go IMD. For those of you that don't know, it took me 19 months to go full-time, which isn't the fastest, but it's faster than 40 years, right? You'd be surprised how many people you'll come across in this business that, would rather be broke for 40 years and try something for 2 to 5. And, thankfully I'm here. I tried it. I pushed, and here I am. Same way that some of you guys are on this phone call right now, and all of you guys are on this phone call, and you're going to push for the next level too. There are currently 292 people on this webinar, which means to me that I'm going to start doing a lot more of these. I might do them a couple times a week and, hit different subjects. I'll do stuff like objections. I'll go on inviting. I'll touch on a lot of stuff. If you guys, let me know what it is that you guys want me to, hit most, then I'll definitely make sure that I'll touch those subjects, a couple times throughout the week. So for those who don't know my story, my name is Julio Acosta. My friends call me Junior Junior. I am 28 years old from Brooklyn, New York. Born and raised in Brooklyn, really just grew up in a single parent home. My dad wasn't around, but wasn't around as much as I guess a normal dad would be around. So that's pretty much that. But saw Worldventures about 3.5 years ago. When I first saw it, I was a hotel manager. This is a date that I got started. If you guys look here, you see that all my stuff is here. 2010, on October 26th was the day that I joined. Now, I was a hotel manager. I was working 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And the only reason why I show you guys this picture and why I even talk about that is because I know a lot of you guys out there have the excuse of having a job. And it's not an excuse, because you don't want to use it as an excuse. You guys got to put food on the table. You got to pay the bills and so on and so on. But, I just want you guys to know, man, I'm human. I'm just like you guys. I saw this thing. You guys are who I was, 2.5, 3 years ago when I had a job, and I just saw something that I got excited about. Again, I used to work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And at one point in my life, I was working 2 hotels, and I had a paper route where, I'd wake up, I'd wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, get to work at 8:30 in the morning. I'd finish that job at 4:30 in the afternoon, and then I'd go manage another hotel from 4:30 p.m. to 12:30 midnight. And then at one point, I even had a paper route from like 3 a.m. to like 5 a.m. or something like that. So, I was working really, really hard. I was really just trying to, make ends meet, man. And a smart guy, I came across, his name was Carlos Rogers, told me one day that 3 jobs or 2 jobs over 2 or 3 people. And, I started to really understand what leverage was and, what we had our hands on. You see, if you guys really had an idea of what we have our hands on, you literally wouldn't sleep. So this is the drill. I was a hotel manager, back I had a kid, a lot of you guys out there have children, and you might use your children as a as an excuse maybe, and this is what I'll tell the parents out there, man. Like if you got a kid, that should push you forward. This is me and my wife, one Christmas day when Katie was about 2 years old. Um, which is, it's crazy. A lot of you guys remember that green living room that I was in. And, yeah, man, I mean, that's me and, 50, 60, 70-hour weeks. I was during Christmas, and, thank God I was home and I was able to spend time home with my daughter. But what a lot of people don't know is that I had to work, the next day and the day before that and so on and so on. So, that was that. These are a couple quotes that really, put things into perspective for me. These are the things that really made me, take into account that I was going to have to put some work into this thing, and they really set my mindset. My mindset was really important, and I would say that these three quotes here and these three things that these guys told me were the things that really triggered what, not only my work ethic, because I was very, very, I'm a hard worker. I've always been a hard worker, but when they told me this, I felt like I had the blueprint, like I had, the plan, like I knew what I was going to do, what I needed to do over the next, year, 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years or so, right? Now, when I show you guys these things for a couple reasons too, because when you guys go to the major events, one of the things that you want to do when you go on there is you want to talk to the IMDs, man. Talk to the RMDs, NMDs, IMDs. Don't just take pictures with these guys. Have a question. Ask them something. Ask them, what did you do to get to IMD? What was your biggest challenge? What would you do differently if you can do it all over again? Ask these guys questions because they have the answers. You see, they're where you want to be. We are where you guys want to be and where you will be if you just ask the questions and you follow the blueprint. So when Carlos Rogers told me that anything you do 3 times a day for a year ends up being over 1,000, at that time, Carlos Rogers was making like $36,000 a month. I had just joined Worldventures. I haven't even made $20 yet. And when he told me that, I was like, man, I can do this 3 times a day. He said anything you do 3 times a day, even if you kiss your spouse 3 times a day, if you hug your dog 3 times a day, if you, take a shower 3 times a day, it ends up being over 1,000 for the year. So I told myself this. I was like, man, if I show over 1,000 people this year, can I sign some people up? And I said, even if I sign up 10% of that, that's 100 people that I get. It's 100 personals. Today, I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but I got 78 personals in total. I have one international marketing director position. I have a marketing director position also. And my total team right now is at about 19, if not over 20,000 right now. So, I have a lot, I have a really big team, with my 78 personals, and I give it for 2 reasons. One, I'm really simple. I teach people how to duplicate very quickly, and, I show a lot of people. Now, the second thing that I saw that somebody told me was David Peach. David Peach, for some of you guys that don't know, is the fastest going IMD in the United States. The guy went IMD in 10 months, 5 days, and he told me that the average person signs up 3 out of 10. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to sign up 3 out of every 10 people, I'm not going to depend on the one to show up because I'm the one. I showed up. I'm the one. I'm going to get this done. And so I told myself this. If I sign up 3 out of 10 and it takes 3,000 people to be on my team for me to hit IMD, I'm going to go out there and sign up all 10,000 if I have to. I'm going to show at least 10,000 people. And then I told myself this. I was like, I don't want to be IMD in 10 years. I don't want to be IMD in 20 years. I don't want to be IMD in 30 years. I want to be IMD now. I want to be IMD in the next year, 2 years, or so on and so on. And so what I told myself was this. If I show 10,000 people in the next, if I show 10,000 people in the next 2 years, how many people a day do I have to show? And again, I wish I would have taken a little bit more time to do it, this PowerPoint, a little bit better. But I'll spend more time next time, to get the PowerPoint done. But I want you guys to take some notes and kind of just listen to what I'm saying and some of the things that really just drove me. So he said, show 3 out of 10. The average person signs up 3 out of 10. I said, all right, if I show 10,000 people in the next 2 years, I'll be an international marketing director. And I told myself this: if I show 16 people a day, I can be an international marketing director in the next 2 years, 2.5 years or so. So the fastest way that I knew that I can get in front of, 16 people a day was from doing travel parties. And so I'm going to show you what my schedule looked like, while I was doing the travel parties, while I was doing the one-on-ones, and so on and so on and so on. Now, the third and last thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about was when Eric Ospowski said at Millionaire Bootcamp 2011 that he He promised in Chicago when he started with his teammates that he was going to do 5 presentations a day for a year. And in that year, he went from making $200 one month to making $50,000 a year later. Now, when I heard that story, 2 things happened. I understood that you're going to have to go out there and talk to some people. You're going to have to go out there and do some presentations. You're going to have to do some live presentations. I stopped doing push plays. And there's nothing against, push plays. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, to me, I felt more comfortable doing the live presentations, and it worked really well for me. So I went out there and started doing presentations. And a funny story is this, that 1 year after when I went to that presentation, to Millionaire Boot Camp in 2011, I got there with maybe 15, 16 people on my team who weren't doing anything. It took me 27 personals to get to senior rep. Some of you guys are hitting senior rep with your first 4 or 5 or 6 or 10, but it took me 27 personals to hit senior rep. It took me 13 months to hit senior rep. A lot of you guys might have quit during that time. My first year, I made about $1,000, if not less than $1,000. My second year, I made well over $100,000, and my third year, I did over $500,000, or about $500,000. Right? So he said he'd do this 5 times a day for a year. You'll have and he went from $200 one month to $50,000 a year later. I did this 3 to 5 times a day for an entire year, and I went from a team of about 16 to a team of about 12,000 1 year later. About a year and a half later. So obviously it works. I left there, not even senior rep, and when I came back the following year, I was a regional marketing director, and 2 months after that, I went national marketing director. So this is the deal. Now, gonna kind of move around here. I'm sorry, my screen, but I want to show you guys this. All right. All right, so this is what my schedule looks like. You see, the reason why I get more done is because I have more time than you guys. I have an extra day, and I have more hours throughout the day, and I'm going to show you guys why. You see, if you guys, most of you guys start your days on a Monday, correct, right? You start your day on a Monday, and so if you start your day on a Monday, usually hump day is on Wednesday. So you got Monday, Tuesday, hump day, then you got Thursday, Friday. I start my day on Saturday. You see, if I start my day on a Saturday, I got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then my hump day is on Tuesday. So I have an extra day, and my hump day is before yours, right? Now, I did my schedule like this because I told myself that when I hit IMD and when I go full-time, I'm not going to be waking up before 10 a.m. in the morning, and I'm not going to be working the business before 10 a.m. in the morning. So I do everything starting from 10 a.m., all the way to 2 a.m. Now, obviously, you guys have jobs, and not everybody's able to work this thing full-time or at the velocity that I can work it because, obviously, I didn't have I can have more time. So this is what it looks like, right? What I did was that I had my schedule set up, and I said to myself, I'm going to fill up my schedule. I'm going to use my time as wisely as possible. I'm going to spend as much time pumping energy into this thing. I'm going to show as many people as I can over the next, year or 2 years so I can get to where I'm going to get to, right? So what I did was that I X'd out any time that I was at work, that couldn't work the business, I would exit out because I couldn't work during that time. But sometimes, I'd don't tell my boss, but I'd, invite people and stuff like that too. But I knew that during this time I couldn't do any presentations, right? What I did know is that on these days, during 12 p.m., I can sit down and do lunch with somebody, and I can show them the presentation during that time, right? Now, what I would do now is I would start filling up my schedule, right? So, for example, I knew that Monday through Friday, I couldn't do anything between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. because I was at work, but I had my lunch break to go out there and show people. You see, I'm not a fan of wasting time. I don't waste any time, right? So I would do this. So now, Saturday, I go out there and I start scheduling it out, right? I figure if I start doing everything and I do it with a 2-hour grace period, I can get my presentation done, and I can get from one destination to another destination, without having to worry about, being late or any of that stuff, right? So this is what my day would look like. I'd go out there, and let me kind of start over, guys. What I would do is the most important thing is, and I'm sorry, this is a little bit weird for me because I'm on, a webinar, but this is what I want you guys to know. The most important thing you guys want to do is you want to go out there and make a list, right? And, it sounds a little bit repetitive because a lot of you guys in this room know what it is to be to make a list. But the way that I did my list was through Facebook. You see, I would go online, I would print out my entire Facebook list, and the way that I would do that is I would go to my friends list and I would scroll down all the way down until I printed everything out, right? Finally, when I get to the bottom and I print everything out, I had a list of about 900 names. And so what my job was to do from that point on was to show you guys, right? I don't have time to show you guys this. But pretty much what I would do is I would go through that list and I would show everybody on that list as fast as possible. The bigger your list, the more power you have. You see, your list is your inventory, and obviously as you guys, go along, you're going to start meeting more people out there. You see, what's bigger, the list of people that you know or the list of people that you do not know? Obviously, it's a list of people that you do not know. So you guys are going to develop some skills, over some time where you're going to be able to, create more warm market. You'll be able to break the ice earlier, and you'll be able to, sign strangers up eventually, like how Carlos Rogers does, and how I've done a couple times too. So pretty much my schedule looked like this. I'll fill it up. I wouldn't do anything further out from 48 to 72 hours. The furthest I'd go out is, anywhere between 24 to 72 hours. I wouldn't go further out than this, because if you go further, if today is Saturday and you go further than Monday to meet up with somebody and you do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, what happens is that life gets in the way and people will start canceling on you. They won't show up, and so on and so on and so on. You make your list, make it a big one, right? The initial people that you're going to go through first are going to be the people that you know, the people that you've known your whole life, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your mother, and so on and so on and so on. Some of them will get started, some of them won't get started. The most horrible thing that somebody can tell me, and if they told me, is, I've shown everybody that I know. That's a lie. You see, what happens is that you show all the people that you're comfortable showing, and then now it's time to get paid, right? When I first got started, my brother told me no, my sister told me no, my mom still thinks I'm crazy. People told me no, and that was fine. But where I found the gold and where I found the value was when I went past that, when I went outside of my comfort zone. You see, a lot of you guys right now say that it's weird getting outside of your comfort zone. And I hate the word or the term comfort zone, because I really believe in my heart that there's no such thing as a comfort zone. There is no such thing as a comfort zone, because you know what? When I was living check to check and I was making $50,000 a year, making $2,800 a month, and my rent was $1,375 a week, and my car note on a Nissan Maxima was $525 a month, and I had a 2-year-old daughter, it wasn't comfortable, but what it was familiar. You see, and all my friends had the same problems that I had, and they felt comfortable being around somebody they were familiar with, because we all had the same problems. You see, nowadays when you get around me, either you're going to get uncomfortable or you're going to start thinking bigger and moving viciously towards the goals that you have to accomplish. If you don't have any goals, then we're probably not going to be very good friends, because I can't waste my time here on this earth, right? So get rid of the comfortable, comfort zone term and start using unfamiliar zone. You see, when you start going into unfamiliar territory, it's when life starts to get a little bit better. You see, it's very uncomfortable or unfamiliar for me to be on this, webinar right now, pretty much talking to myself, because I don't hear anybody else. It's just me talking to my screen. But what I do know is that I'm going to make an impact, and that doing things that are uncomfortable will put you in a position where you can live life much more comfortably. So do the things that are unfamiliar. Trust me, life will be totally different. So I went outside of my list and kept going and going and going, and here we are. Now, what I would do is that this is my schedule for Saturday, right? And so let's say that I showed, Johnny and Jex and Peso and Wendy and Tyler, Val, Scott. I showed all these guys, right? And out of all these guys that I showed, the only one that got started was Scott, right? Now, what I do is this. When Scott gets started, I go do a travel party with Scott the next day. You see, the most important word that I can teach you guys is tomorrow. When somebody gets started with me, the first thing that I teach them how to do is make a list, and make a big one. And after they make that list, I want them to learn how to invite. The invitation process for me can be so simple, but it's also so hard. If you guys didn't know, the most difficult part about this entire business is not getting people to join the business. It's not getting people to buy. The most difficult part of this business, the most difficult part of network marketing, the part that will make you quit is the inviting part. You see, people are better inviters before they join Worldventures. If you think about it, if you were going to invite some friends over to your place for a barbecue, how would you invite them? If you were going to go out to a bar tonight and invite some friends, how would you invite them? You see, you wouldn't feel weird about it. But what happens is that when you join Worldventures and you're going to go invite Scott out, you call Scott up and you're like, hey, Scott, what are you doing? And Scott automatically is on the other side and he smells the fear like a dog, smells fear. And he feels that you're acting weird. You see, the way that I invite people is like this. This is what I tell people all the time. I'd say something like, yo, what's up, Peso? What are you doing tonight around 8 o'clock? And he'll say nothing, and I'll say, great. Listen, I have something important I need to talk to you about. I need you to meet me here at 8 o'clock sharp. Would you or would you not come out? Yes, it's important. Now, you guys can get away with it. I text people all the time. I don't like being on the phone. Personally, I'm a big text person. So I text that, and I text it to 20 people. I text it to 30 people, and I see who to respond and who'd be available. You see, the worst that'll happen is that somebody will say, I can't, I'm busy, or they'll say, what is it? And that's where people get stuck. When I invite somebody, I'll say it again. I'll say something like, hey, Tyler, what are you doing tonight at 8 o'clock? I got something important I want to talk to you about. I need you to meet me here at 8 o'clock sharp. I'm sorry, let me go back. I'll say, hey, what's up, Tyler? What are you doing tonight at 8 o'clock? Tyler will say, nothing, I'm free. I'll say, great, listen, I got something big I need to talk to you about. Hey, listen, I have something important I need to talk to you about. Hey, listen, I have something that I came across, and when I saw it, I thought about you. What are you doing tonight at 8 o'clock sharp? Nothing? Great. I need you to meet me here. When you get here, I'll talk to you. I'll show it to you. Now, what happens is this. When Tyler says, okay, great, but what is it? This is where people get stuck. You see, when you invite somebody out, you don't want to say anything about travel, money. You don't want to say anything about business. You don't want to say anything about meeting. I promise you guys, if you get really good at inviting, you never work another day in your life. Get good at inviting. Inviting is the goal. That's the best skill set to have here. Being a great inviter will make you rich beyond your dreams. So get good at inviting. So this is what happens. Tyler, what's up? What are you doing tonight at 8 o'clock? Nothing? All right, listen, I need you to meet me here tonight at 8 o'clock. I have something important I want to talk to you about. Hey, listen, I got something big I want to run across you. When I saw it, I thought about you. Great. Well, what is it? Well, if I could have told you over the phone, Tyler, I would have just told you, right? Duh. Yes. All right, cool. So you coming or you not? Confirm. All right, great. Now, what also happens is that when somebody will say, I'll do the same thing. Hey, what's up, Sheila? What are you doing tonight at 8 o'clock? And Sheila will tell me, well, I'm busy. Okay, great. Click. What would you do? You'd probably be on the other side of the phone like, what the hell was that? And you're going to want to call me back. And that's what always happens. Either you call me back or you text me back. You know how you hang up on somebody on through a text? You write okay, and then you put a period, right? So I would say that. Sheila, you busy? All right, cool. Me too. And then Sheila would hit you back, or she'll contact you back and say, hey, listen, what was that about? And I tell Sheila the same thing. Sheila, listen, I got something big. I came across something important, and when I first saw it, I thought about you. I need you to come out tonight, 8 o'clock sharp. Can you make it? And Sheila would say, yes. Or she'll say, you know what, I can't make it tonight. I'll come out tomorrow. So I'll teach him how to invite, and then we'll do a travel party tomorrow. I'll go to Scott's travel party tomorrow. We'll show his friends, and we'll show them how to invite, and then I'll tell them to bring their people again tomorrow, right? And then we'll do another travel party, and I'll tell Scott people to bring his people again tomorrow. And then I'll do another travel party, and I'll tell those people to come again tomorrow. You see, the reason why we move at the speed that we move is because we just don't know better. You see, if the speed of the leader, speed of the pack, right? You see, if you guys knew that, the people, this is something that Ed Blunt taught me. Ed Blunt taught me this. He said, anything that you do, the people that you work with are going to do half or less than half of. So you see, if I'm working the business 7 days a week or 6 days a week, and you guys or anybody else that I'm working with is doing it 2 or 3 times a week or 4 times a week, that's more than maybe the rest of the company. And so I set the pace. The newest guy that I put into the business is working the business 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, because he doesn't know better and because he's trying to get this thing done now. So what happens is that I'll do a few travel parties for Scott. I'm presenting away, but Scott's recording. He sees it. Like he's not physically recording, but if you hear the same song, guys, if you guys hear the same song 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, you learn the hook, right? And the beauty about the live presentation is that it's really not that difficult. It's like singing a hook over and over again. The information is up on the screen, and when you do a brand new presentation, the worst that'll happen is that you'll get nervous, but it's fine. Everybody gets nervous. And remember, the people that you're talking to don't really know what you're talking about, so they don't know if you said the right thing or the wrong thing or whatever it is. So just do your best to finish the presentation. Don't do like I did. When I first got started, I'd do a presentation and I'd go 20 minutes into the presentation, and after I go 20 minutes into the presentation, I'd start all over again. Val used to want to kill me. So I do a travel party, travel party, travel party, travel party, and then boom, Scott, you got this one, right? And so Scott would do the presentation next, right? And after Scott does that presentation, I'd go sponsor Jimmy the next day. And so what I would do with Jimmy is the same thing I did with Scott, right? And so what happens now is that I got a presentation going on every night at 10 p.m., whether I'm there or I'm not there. And yeah, I'd come in and I'd help Scott out and I'd coach him a little bit every so often. But really what happens is that now Scott has a presentation every night at 10 p.m. You see, I was trying to collapse time frames because you see, I got Scott at 10 p.m. now. But what happens when I show, somebody here and his name is, let's say his name is Waldo, and Waldo gets started, and then we do the same thing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is how I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 presentations a day going on at the same time around the world, because I'll show Scott, he learns how to do it, then I'll show Jimmy, Jimmy learns how to do it, then he'll show somebody else. And then what also happens is this, right? You see, now Jimmy's doing a presentation at 10 p.m., but who else is doing a presentation at 10 p.m.? Scott. So now I got Scott and Jimmy doing presentations at 10 p.m. Do you think I can show 16 people a day if I get 3 travel parties going on every night at 10 p.m.? Yes. Then I got guys at 8 p.m. Then I got guys at noon. Then I got guys at 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. And I'll tell you guys about these times later on, right? Now, while I'm doing these travel parties, what happens to a lot of you guys is that you go into management mode, right? Where you feel that you're the presenter guy, and all of a sudden, all you want to do is present, present, present. You don't want to bring personals anymore, and personals is very important. Personals is one of the most important parts of this entire business. Like, obviously, you want to get duplication, and you want your team to grow, and you want to teach them how to each one teach one, but you got to get your personals up, because fact of the matter is that most of the people that you put in aren't going to do everything. Out of my 78 personals, I think it's about 11 or 12 that got me to IMD where I am now. So remember that. Now, what I'm doing now is that as I'm going to Jimmy's travel parties, I'm bringing people with me. So this is Tommy. Tommy's a brand new guy. He was on my list, and he came to the travel party. Tommy didn't get started. Cool. Good for you. Go to work. Jimmy, I go to his travel party again the next day, and I'm out there presenting, but I also brought Max. Max sees that he doesn't get started. Cool, good for you. Go to work. Jimmy, I go to another presentation. I bring Jenny. Jenny doesn't get started. Fine. I wish you good luck, Jenny. Next. I go to Jimmy's travel party, and as I'm going to Jimmy's travel party, we're still signing people up, and we're putting them on, and we're exposing people and going and going and going. Nicole comes. She doesn't get started. Then Wednesday comes, and Jimmy does the presentation. Tommy got started. He came back to me, from when I showed it to him on Saturday. He got that team no sleep insomnia. He says, you know what, man, I'm ready to get this thing going. Now, Tommy starts his travel party on Thursday, and I go to his travel party. Then I go to his travel party again on Friday. Next thing you know, now I got Jimmy, I got Tommy, and I got Scott. I got 3 travel parties going on at only 10 o'clock at night. 3 travel parties, 10 p.m. at night. What if he did the same thing at 8 p.m.? What if he did the same thing at 12 noon? What if he did the same thing at 12 a.m. and 2 a.m.? You see, the beauty about our business is that we create the leverage, right? We create the leverage, and that's what if you guys really do some simple math, if you teach 10 people how to get their 10, that's 100 on your team. You're on your way to director. You teach those 100 how to get their 10, and you're on your way to national marketing director. You teach those 1,000 how to get their 10. And you get your butt, double IMD if you keep pushing. I saw somebody wrote some kind of question about, is this a travel thing? And I'm not going to, go through all these things, answering everything. But what happens is that if people are asking you, or they said they've heard an invite already, you could say it to me. I'll go back to that later. All right. So this is really what my schedule looks like. I do my schedule like this, and this is what it looks like today. I'm even going to start honestly doing web live presentations via webinar also, which will probably be a little bit easier because there's 300 people on this thing right now, and there's a lot of people commenting, and I honestly can't even keep up with everything right now because there's so many things being posted at the same time. But this is really what my schedule looks like. I'll give you guys a couple quick facts too, and I'll be, way better prepared next time, and I'll have like, slide after slide going on after. But this is the thing. This is all a numbers thing. Marcus said that, network marketing, this is a contact sport. So the person that makes the most contacts wins. I really maximize my time. You see, during 12 p.m. at lunchtime at my job, I could have been, hanging out with some coworkers or on Facebook or on YouTube or, just wasting time. Time is the most valuable commodity on the planet. You can't get your time back. You can't buy time. So use it wisely. You only have one first week, one first month, one first year, one first 2 years. Make it the best 2 years of your life. Make it count. So I really just maximize my time, guys. I wouldn't go home and lay on the couch. I'd really build this thing, to its potential. Today, I'm going to spend more time doing things webinar-wise because I want to be able to touch as many people as I can. We have some guys that are on this line, man, that are in, the UK. We have guys that are on this line that are in different states and people that are in other countries besides those two. And it's a blessing to be able to help and teach everybody around the world. Now, I hope that this here helps you guys out a lot. It's literally my Bible. I wish that, Val saved, all the pieces of paper that I used to have in my back pocket with this layout right here. And, this is what I used to use. This is what Jay Peso can tell you guys. This is what I used to use. I used to schedule everything around my day, around this. This is what it used to look like every day. 12 p.m. I'd have people, I'd meet up with Leon, and Qdoba's, and we would show people back to back to back to back. I'd show my personals during those times. I'd bring them to Qdoba, to Chipotle, or wherever we can bring them. 8 p.m. I'd have child parties at my house, and I'd do another one at 10 p.m., and so on and so on. This is the beautiful thing about 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. I cycled one time between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. 11 times, right? I cycled 11 times between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. And the reason why that is because you set the pace and you start to get paid in different time zones as well. Now, I've signed up a lot of people after midnight, and the reason why it is because my energy level. You see, if you talk to somebody like this, listen, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm working with some really good people. I'm going IMD in the next 2 years. And I'm going to do this whether you decide to join or you decide not to join. But I wanted you to do this with me because you're a close friend. I care about you, and I think we can kill this thing. We're just getting warmed up. We're in New York City, and we're signing up. We got a couple thousand people that are in this thing. But the people that are Hong Kong are signing up what the people in New York City are doing times 5, times 6, times 7. So if they're doing it in Hong Kong, what do you think we're going to do in New York City? We're in Miami building. We're in Connecticut, we're in Philly, we're all over the planet, right? So this is the thing. At 12 a.m., if you keep the same energy level, the people that you're signing up are, the people that you're exposing to are going to look at you and think, man, this guy's crazy enough to go out there and actually do it. And so they'll sign up, and what do you think they're going to go do? They're going to go out there and want to do the same thing and go out there and show people at 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. and so on and so on and so on. So keep your energy level up, right? Always keep the energy level up, right? So I want to kind of end off with this, right? You see, I'm on the phone right now, and I'm talking to a bunch of lions, right? I'm talking to a bunch of lions, man. Like, you guys are a bunch of freaking, you guys are put on this earth to live abundantly. You're put on this earth to live the way that you choose to live, not the way that you can live. You see, I said this earlier, right? 98% of the people on this planet live the way that they can. 2% of the people on this planet live the way that they want to. And you see, the problem with this picture is that, this is really what it looks like when you're an employee. You see, you're kind of just being ridden, and, of course you get your 3 meals a day. They feed you, and, they bathe you, and you're being, kept up, and not, I don't want to say there's nothing wrong with that, man, but it's like, what's a better way to live? You see, this is just living and getting by. When you have a job, you're living, you're getting by, your bills are being paid for, and that's pretty much that. And you see, the problem with that is this: do you want to live the rest of your life getting by, or do you want to live the rest of your life how you want, doing what you want? You see, I talk about it, I say it all the time: eat only what you kill. And this is what I mean by eat only what you kill, right? You see, is a little bit graphic, right? But this is what it looks like to be an entrepreneur. Every morning I wake up and I know that I'm working closer to my freedom, or to my new level of freedom, working to my next level. You see, when you're an entrepreneur, they don't tell you what you're worth. They don't tell you this is what you get paid, because you don't have any boundaries. Every morning I get up and I eat only what I kill. And what I mean by I eat only what I kill is that as an international marketing director here, as an entrepreneur, as a top income earner in Worldventures, nobody put anything on my plate. Nobody handed me anything. Nobody gave me anything. I went out there and I went and got it. If you want things to be given to you, if you want things to be handed to you, if you want to live, and just get by, if you want to live like this, you can go get a job. Because at a job, they'll pay you your salary. You'll have your weekly pay will be the same every single week. You'll have your stability. You'll have the same complaints as the rest of your friends. You'll be familiar. You'll be connected. You'll be relatable. People will probably like you more. But when you're here, this is the other side. This is a side where you live in a way that people wish they could, and they want to. It's up to you to go out there and trigger them and prove to them that it's possible. How many people are you going to affect? How many people are you going to go out there and trigger because you actually went out there and did what you said you were going to go do? I joined Worldventures 3.5 years ago, and when I first joined Worldventures, people told me it wasn't real. They told me it wasn't going to work. They told me this couldn't happen. They told me people like me can't do this. Dan Stamen had a team of 660,000 people in his last company. He's a network marketing genius. He's a network marketing legend. And he told me to my face that this couldn't happen in New York. How do you think all those people feel 3 years later when I actually went out there and did what I said I was going to go do? Eat only what you kill. If you don't kill it, you don't eat. If you don't go get it, you get nothing. You see, if some of you guys ate what you killed, some of you guys will be starving because you're not willing to get up off your butt and go get it. I just gave you guys what probably is the best tool I can give you. I just gave you guys the very, I guess is my secret weapon. You guys have it. Now, it's not a matter of can you do this? It's a matter of will you go do it? The blueprint is set. You have to look at Worldventures and you have to look at what's happening today as your GPS being set, right? You see, the GPS is set to IMD. Everybody here on this call, everybody here on this webinar has their GPS set to IMD. And so you're going to be in IMD. Along the way, you might catch a flat, but it's cool. You'll change it, put a new tire on. Along the way, you might hit some traffic. That's cool. It'll clear up. You might hit some stormy weather. Somebody might rear end you. It's cool. But what you guys need to understand is that the only way you don't get to the destination, the only way you don't become an IMD, the only way you don't get here to the end result, where me and my wife don't remember when was the last time we had to save up for something, where I walk around with a $50,000 Rolex watch when I used to make $50,000 a year 2.5 years ago, where this year I'll pay more in taxes than what my boss used to make a year. The only way you get here, the only way you get to go out there and help other people achieve their dreams, the only way you get to go travel the world and go train and speak and teach people on success and teach people how to get what you got, the only way you don't get there, the only way you can't wake up and raise your kids full time, the only way you can't go and build schools in other countries and, meet amazing people. I was hanging out with a space cadet the other day. This guy was an astronaut. I think he's the first civilian astronaut. The only way you don't get to hang out with these people because the GPS is set is if you stop and turn around or if you quit. The blueprint is set, guys. You got it. Eat only what you kill. Move forward with an entrepreneur's mindset. This isn't for the weak. This isn't for the people that are waiting to have, it handed to them. You got to go out there and go get it. Eat only what you kill. Eat only what you kill. When you're hungry, you eat. I say it all the time. When you're hungry, you eat. But I'm not eating what they give me. I'm only eating what I go out there and kill. I'm only eating what I'm going out there and achieving. IMD, people say it over and over again. IMD stands for I made a decision. Today's April 23rd, 12:54 a.m., April 23rd, Wednesday. Let today be the day that you made your decision. And when you look back 1 year from now, people look at you like, damn, he actually went out there and did what he said he was going to do. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you guys. I'll definitely keep these coming. I'm going to get something else lined up very, very quickly. Just to end off with this too, and I kind of just want to like put this out in the air. Tomorrow morning at 12 noon, I'm going to be doing a live presentation. I'll put the info up shortly, but I'm going to do a live presentation tomorrow at noon. So if you guys have anybody that's by a computer, you guys have anybody that's available at that time, if you guys want to get refreshed on how it is that I'm presenting, get on it. It's limited. I can't get everybody on here, but tomorrow at 12 noon, I'm going to be doing a live presentation. Get everybody on here. I'm going off. All right. Good night. God bless. Love you guys. And we'll be in touch. Let's get it.